Hey, everybody, welcome to Rough Stuff, the podcast where we invite our friends on to tell embarrassing stories about our childhoods. My name's Bridget Greenberg. I'm one of your co-hosts, and I've stopped sex in the middle of it on multiple occasions because of acute hip pain that I don't go to the doctor for.
Perfect.
And my co-host is here.
Yes, I'm
co-host.
That's me. I'm the other one. My name is Sarah Griffith, and I have, maybe worse, made sexual partners laugh during sex at my dirty talk attempts. So.
Thanks for not leaving me hanging there, buddy.
Of course.
And with us, we're super excited to have the actress and sketch writer and producer, Gretchen Dawson.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yay.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. You want to just start off, dip your toes in the water?
Yeah,
and just
why
give us,
not?
An embarrassing fact about yourself.
Okay, this sent me into a frenzy here. Okay, this question, embarrassing stuff about your adolescence. I was like, where do I start? So I'm gonna start with one that I'm gonna give you one where I think. Okay, so I'm just going to start off. In second grade, okay, let's paint the picture. Gretchen is the youngest of three. She's 7. She's living her life.
Right.
I growing up, I had always really admired Lucille Ball, and
of course.
And here we go. My lovely Bill Cosby. I was just those are the two people. And but no, for real, his stand-up routine, the himself, I watched that all the time, and I would recite it, right? You just recite
it's good.
it.
I think we can still say it is good.
It's
fuck
legit
him, but
hilarious.
Yeah.
So those two people, I really, really that's what started me in comedy and just loving to make people laugh. And so I had a really, really good memory growing up. I would watch stuff and then recite it to my family members, and they thought it was hilarious.
Right.
But I was a very timid child. I wasn't about performing for people. I just wanted to make my family laugh.
Right.
But my mom saw that, and she was like, "Ooh, there's going to be a talent show at your school." And she signed me up without my knowledge that she signed me up to perform Bill Cosby himself, the routine.
Oh no.
And I was like, what? I'm on the playground trying to be cool. I didn't want to make a thing. I just was not that kid. I was very shy. So I'm this when you asked me this, I was like, I told my wife, I was like, oh man, I'm going to tell this story because in my head, it's the most embarrassing moment of my little childhood. So I'm telling Biddy, my wife, I'm like, I get there and I'm kind of confronted that I'm going to have to go up and perform the dentist part of himself. That was my favorite part where I'd be like, or whatever. And so I'm telling my mom, I don't want to do this. I'm crying. I'm like, please don't let me. I don't want to. I'm in the the quad or whatever, where you're going into your theater, your little theater at your elementary school. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. And all I remember, I have very little memory of it because I was 7, but all I remember is I go up on stage and I hit the mic and I see a sea of people, and I felt like I froze up, and I don't remember kind of what happened, but all I remember,
it was
just kind of a blackout. And I remember this kid in the front row just laughing at me, but not laughing at the jokes, but laughing at me.
And there's a palpable difference.
Oh,
very different.
Right? And when it's happening.
Yeah.
And so I saw that little kid, and he was trying to get other people to agree with him what's this kid doing up on stage? You know what I mean? So I literally felt my whole world just kind of collapse inside of me. And I thought that I bombed it, and it was awful. And then the next day on the playgrounds, the kids were making fun of me. It was just this whole thing in my head. Well, get this. So just during the pandemic, I happened to find this tape in my brother's
Oh, no.
garage that was
Oh my
like,
God.
it was labeled, this is my other embarrassing story that I was going to bring up, right? But
Right, just
it's
segues.
labeled Marionette Show. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
It's porn. It's
So,
homemade porn.
Obviously, I had to, right. Obviously, I had to take it. So I
Yeah.
took it and I put it in the VHS and I start watching it. I was like, oh my God, this is the most embarrassing footage. Obviously, my brother didn't want it to get out, and I'm telling it now on a podcast, but
Yeah, it's out.
it's out.
Nothing sacred.
No, he did not want this footage to get released, and I can understand why, because it's literally the most embarrassing thing for all three of us. But anyways, at the end of the video, it's the footage of my stand-up routine at 7. And I see it and I pause it. I was like, I know what this is and I can't. I was like, someone taped it? What? No. And I was so like horrified. My wife, before I recorded this podcast, I was like, honestly, I don't think I can watch it. Like, I'm kind of like,
Right.
I'm triggered by it. I just don't want to watch it. She was like,
Yeah.
let me watch it for you. I'll watch it. And I was like,
Aw.
okay. So like I went away and she watched it and she was like, so.
What a kind gesture.
I know,
That's very
right?
sweet.
Very sweet.
So
Very
sweet.
sweet of her. I don't know what I would do without her, because like I wouldn't have been able to get through it. And so
Right.
she comes in the room. I'm like for 3 minutes, I'm just going in my brain like, oh my God, she's gonna see that I bombed. Oh my God, it's the worst. Holy shit, she's gonna see it. You know what I mean? Because this is this thing that I've told her about for like years. And she
Yeah.
watches it and she goes, well, you can like basically tell, I'm going to give you the highlights and you can be like, okay, I want to know more about that, you know, if you want. And so, so she was like, it lasted maybe 2.5 minutes, maybe 3. You
all right.
stood up there, you did the routine, and people laughed. And I was like, so I just stood there and I said the words, and she was like, yeah, you said the whole routine. And she was like, you were just like yourself, and like you seemed, you know, obviously very young Gretchen, and very like not kind of what she was. See, I seemed very tired, and I was like, well, yeah, I'd been crying for like an hour for not wanting to go and doing it. But
Yeah.
she was like, you just seemed really tired, but like honestly, people thought you were cute and laughing. And she was like, and you didn't culture appropriate. And I was like, thank God.
Yeah,
there it
that's a
is.
good one.
That's a good one to know. At 7 years old, I did not like put on anything,
Right.
and that was
Right.
good. So
Cool.
thank God. And but
No reason to cancel you.
yeah, right. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
but it was just so I wanted to bring it up because it's just so interesting what your brain. Like, and it didn't take
Yeah.
away from like my embarrassment, because like I still think that the kid was there. You know, she didn't get to see
Of
it
course.
from my view of like, you know, that little.
Well, you had
Right.
to like
That little kid.
surprise do a full stand-up routine
Yes!
in front of all of your classmates. Like, yeah, that would sit. That's literally the nightmare I have when I'm having anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, that is the exact nightmare.
Yeah.
Totally. How dare my
That
mom?
is-
I'm still mad at her. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a bold move for your mom to make.
Totally.
That's horrifying. I mean, it's also hilarious that you just did someone else's stand-up routine, but I guess at 7, like, it's
I'm sure that was
more about the
adorable. I'm
performance
sure
and
that-
the content.
That's right.
I'm sure that played so well.
Well, that's another thing, is that like I was embarrassed for that too, because I was like, it's at 7 I realized, I was like, I'm doing someone else's work. Like, you're making me you're making me just repeat someone else's. This was fun in my living room. Why am I
right.
here? These people aren't gonna think, they want to see Bill Cosby, not this little girl. Anyway,
self-
really
self-aware.
standing up for plagiarism, your mother.
totally.
There were, because like I was a tiny comedy nerd too,
Uh-huh.
and I would watch things and repeat them. I think everyone
Yes,
who is like into
totally.
entertainment
It's always in
has
us.
done that at some point. And yeah, and I was a little older when I was doing this, because I remember I was watching like talk show videos, and Tina Fey told like a very funny story about her child on a talk show, and I was like, oh mom, you gotta, like, I was telling my family about it, and they thought it was hilarious, like just me reiterating the story, they thought it was hilarious. And then I remember we were at a dinner party, and or something, we were at like dinner with a bunch of family. Dinner party sounds very fancy and bougie for like whatever backyard thing we were hanging out with some friends, but and my mom like stops and she's like, oh, Bridget told this hilarious story the other day, tell the story. And I
Oh
was like,
God.
are you talking about the thing that Tina Fey? I'm 12.
Yeah.
I can't talk about my kids.
Yeah,
and
your
she was
daughter.
like, Bridget. Yeah, and my mom fully like sold me it. She's like, Bridget, don't be an asshole right now. Like, got upset with me for like talking back at her, being like, no, I'm not.
Totally.
No, this is not.
That my mom did the same thing.
Yeah, she got upset with me, and I was just like, okay, so, and it was just like, like a kid who just got shamed.
Yes, how
telling
awkward.
a story about her daughter at 12. That's not her daughter, and I'm just like, this is.
Oh my God, my mom did that to me. Actually, I can't believe I have a story for this, but it was just like
give it to us.
It was just like real quick. I was on the phone with her over the summer vacation. I think I was like early high school, like old enough. And I was on the phone with her at work, and I did like this really shoddy JFK impression. And my JFK impression, I mean like my Mayor Quimby impression from The Simpsons, because that is closer to my JFK than actual JFK. And I literally just did like the ask not what you can do for your country, ask what your country can do for you. And she laughed and she said, hold on. Come here, listen to this. Hold on, I've got you on speaker. Come here, you gotta hear Sarah's do her JFK. It's really good. Okay, do that impression again. This is the first time and last time I've ever done a JFK impression. I do not even remember the context of which I did it, but like, sure enough, I was on speakerphone and all of my mom's coworkers, who I also knew, I had to do this fucking Kennedy impression.
It's totally like Play Monkey Play.
Yeah,
oh my God, I remember, and I
like,
just...
like,
I think on their end there must have been like a silence. It's like, well, go on, Sarah. And I'm like, okay. So this is John F. Kennedy. Ask not what.
Oh man, there's I don't know if this is. I have like so many conspiracies about when you become a parent, like the messed up things you do to your children, as, like just for your own entertainment, and like selling them down the river to make them perform.
Totally, because like
in ways that they do not want to. It has to be some like sick enjoyment they get out of it.
Absolutely. Well,
like it's got to be funny.
And you have to kind of sympathize, because I mean, if you have that kid that like that young that like can memorize something or like recite something, you're like, oh my God, I have a genius child.
Yeah, you want to facilitate that. You want to like encourage it and facilitate it and showcase it in a way that is like you're trying to build confidence in your child. I also do think
just
that
don't spring it on them, you know?
Yeah, I also think
that's
that
very kind. In my head, my parents are selling me out. They're not proud of me. They're
well,
being
also,
like, look at this little asshole.
You have to also
consider
the fact that having kids and being a parent is so fucking hard, and from what I've seen, excruciating. So in the few moments where your child makes you laugh, I mean, do you not kind of deserve that much?
Absolutely.
Like, do you not deserve to
go and Absolutely. You know, now that I think about it, I'm not mad at my mom.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's also why. Yeah, that's why probably my mom got so upset with me when I no, I'm not doing this. It's not my joke. She's like, Bridget, this is a one piece of enjoyment. You've been a little bitch to me all day. You made me laugh one time. Absolutely. So just do it again and stop being an asshole.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, man, I'm getting older because now I understand where she's coming from, and that's hard to reconcile.
Well,
I'm starting.
It's
I'm starting to
look
back on like my childhood memories through an adult lens now, which is why I can like look back. Sometimes like when I say something embarrassing here, I'm so quick to be like, oh, but you know what? I bet the adults just thought that blah blah blah. Right? Like it's easier to live with it now.
Totally.
But at the time, it's the worst thing ever.
Right. Because you don't know what everybody's going through at that age, you know, or any of that. Yeah.
No, and also, the hindsight of realizing, like, oh, this is a thing that I will never forget, but everyone else around me, my peers, have all forgotten it.
Oh, yes.
Is also a big realization. I think both Sarah and I have come through this podcast. I'm getting rid of my mic stand. It's a nuisance.
The amount of embarrassing facts that you guys put out there, I'm just sure is a lot.
We're having to dive deeper and deeper into ourselves. That's why we both started off with like, I'm not even a child anymore. We're just going for now. And that's a little more painful.
Oh, God.
Sometimes I do think, have I made a commodity of my childhood nostalgia, and am I exploiting for money and attention like who I am as a person? And the answer is yes. And do I have a problem with it? I mean, not entirely.
No, because it's hilarious.
No, it's honestly how I've coped with my own awkwardness.
Yeah.
True.
Like, just learn to roll with it.
You know what? And I appreciate you guys having me on to talk about this stuff, because honestly, that moment was kind of like a big thing for me, because I carried that so
right,
long.
It sounded like it.
Yeah.
It was healing.
Yeah.
Healing for you.
That's a thing I found, like, I'm sure Sarah could say the same thing, like, through doing this, and kind of like what I thought when we started would happen is like all these things that I still think about and like wake up at 4 a.m. and be like, I can't believe I did that in the 4th grade. Just laughing at them, because we've like now knowing everyone has a similar thing.
Absolutely.
It just goes away.
Yeah. It's really, really comforting.
Yeah. So that being said, let's get to know your childhood self a little better.
Okay.
Like, what were you like in your like height awkward period?
Oh man,
would you say?
I was this.
Try to describe that.
Okay.
Little Gretchen.
Okay, so I was this scrappy little girl that just hated dresses, hated dolls, but was told to like all those things.
Of course.
Yes. Right there
And
with you.
I just could
Yeah,
not.
welcome.
Yes. Okay. I'm in great company here.
You're among friends.
Yes, you understand. So
Yes.
yeah, I was definitely that kid at like 3. I wanted a gun, and I wanted to be Batman for Halloween, and
You
not
wanted
like
a
a
gun.
real gun, but
That
like
was
I wanted to be like not like a real gun, but I wanted to be like a
Yeah.
cowboy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just wanted those types of things. So I was definitely that girl. And in adolescence, my mom, she basically wanted a doll for a daughter. Like, she wanted to just dress this little girl in all these frilly things, and that's what she wanted. Like, it wasn't even that, oh my God, I got like a daughter. It was like, I have a doll. Whee!
Right.
Bless her heart. So she, I would slowly start to realize when I went shopping, that's kind of like what I was told to wear. So I would just really limit that. And going to school, I would be this kid wearing like show shirts and like jeans with like, Vans or Converse. And these kids would think that like I was just this like really scrappy kid from the other side of the tracks, which in reality, like, I didn't even brush my hair. Like, I would knots in my hair. I was that kid.
Right.
I had I loved everybody on the playground. I played basketball and like always with the boys, but I also had like girlfriends too. But mainly those girlfriends were very judgy of like, Gretchen's a lesbian. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even like, at that time, it was something that like I thought meant bad. You know what I mean? Like, judging me.
Right.
But at that, if I had known that it wasn't a big deal, I would have been like, yeah, I'm a lesbian. Great. Call me that.
I hope, and I feel like it's moving towards kids today, will just be like, yeah.
Yes, totally. And I'm so thankful for that.
I would love to hear a child be like, that is correct. You got me. With your playground taunts, guess your parents are not woke or conscious at all.
Yeah.
Why don't you learn something and love people for once?
Exactly. Kids can be cruel, right? I mean, in the way that they think they're being cruel. But I would hang out with the boys, and so I was that kid. I definitely didn't shop because like I knew what that would meant. I would get like clothes that I didn't want, so I would always just like wear things that were around the house, and so I would have So I didn't know that I grew up with a wealthy family, I guess you could say, or like on like better ends, because like I never really got a gumball for 25 cents. My dad really taught us to like save money and all of that. So
and it's hard for a kid to recognize that.
Totally. I didn't know what that meant, but
you don't really have a concept of it.
Yeah, but my room was not my room. It was like furry, like roses on my window, and like my bed sheets were roses, and I had these awful porcelain dolls staring at my face.
Oh, wait, did you have Madame Alexander dolls?
Oh,
is that what they were?
They were like
the ones that were like fairy tale creatures?
No, they were like shit dolls you would find in like a plantation home in the South. Like,
hey,
oh boy,
those kind of dolls.
I had for some reason, because I was like a little tomboy as well.
Yes.
And when I was a kid, I think, like, before I had any sense of, like, my, like, very small and had any sense of my own identity, my family decided, like, this is a thing she's gonna do and collect these things called Madame Alexander dolls.
I have never heard of these.
Oh, they were like Beanie Babies for weird Victorian children.
For kids who are in a fucking iron lung. What the hell is this?
Yeah, they're very weird. They were supposed to be worth a lot, but they're all based on, like, there was like an Alice in Wonderland set and like a Wizard of Oz set, and they're just like these tiny creepy dolls that were in a case in the corner of my room.
Oh, terrifying.
And there was one. There was one of the Wicked Witch of the West, and that I would every night take it out of my room.
Oh, good idea.
It was not allowed to sleep in my room. It was not allowed to sleep in my room.
I didn't sleep in my room. It was these large. It was these, like, I think they were at least, like, what is this, like, at least like 3 feet, or I don't even know. They were tall.
Ew, what?
Yeah, staring, and I'm not even joking. There were 8 of them staring at me, staring at my bed.
Okay, these were small.
God.
Yeah, that's too big.
3 feet
dolls.
and 8 of them,
big dolls,
staring at me. So I basically never slept in my room.
3 feet is the size of a toddler. 3 feet
yeah,
is the
they were
size
fucking
of a,
huge.
Like,
that's
small
really big.
Child. That's unacceptable.
Yes.
That is huge.
Yes,
that
huge.
Is huge.
They were
for a
awful.
doll.
They were the worst. And so I never slept in my room. So they were like, that was that type of room, right? So what I'm getting at is, like, I was this kid, scrappy kid. People thought that, like, I was like on the right side. And then we would have these boat parade parties, or like this, like, party for like my friends to come over, and they would come over and they would go into my house and they would go to my room and they'd be like, this is your room?
Like, does not add up.
What? Like, they'd be like, why? Gretchen, what's going on? You know, and I'd just be like, I got nothing, you know? I live here. This is where I live.
I rent. This is a rental.
Yeah.
This is a rental.
It's not my choice.
I'm here until I'm 18, and
it came furnished when I arrived.
It actually did. It actually did.
Yeah, my landlords don't let us paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
It definitely was furnished for like a guest room or something like that before I came. I don't know what they were thinking.
I also remember, because again, I was a little tomboy. I liked wearing my brother's hand-me-downs. I would cry almost every time I had to be put in their dress. And I remember, like, some of the most, and my mom, very similar to you, I think, wanted like a girlier best friend kind of daughter, and she worked in the fashion industry.
Oh, okay.
So she loved clothes and shopping, and to this day, she, like, I still have to, like, anytime I buy something online, be like, Mom, can I wear this? And, like, send her pictures, because I don't know how to dress myself.
Oh, well, that comes in handy.
So she would, like, without my, like, that sounds weird, without consulting me at all, just, like,
consulting me
at all, would just, like, buy my, like, clothes for temple and, like, fancy events and, like, my dresses and stuff. Ooh. And I remember a mortifying experience, like, that mortifying experience of my friends being like, what's in Bridget's closet? We wonder. And, like, going through and, like, pulling out the frilly things that my mom would buy for me. And I'd just be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And be like, I wasn't there.
That's not mine.
That is.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
That's not mine. I'm just holding it for a friend. I don't know anything about this. No, and I think,
and
like,
then all, like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I remember for me, it was the most embarrassing thing I could do was cry, and especially cry in public.
Yes.
Oh, all the time. Hated that.
Hated it. Like, it was a real big blow. And any time I would go shopping with my mother, I would end up crying because I'm like, I don't like any of this stuff. And it's a very frustrating experience. And it was so mortifying because then, like, the people working at the shop would, like, come over and try to comfort you. And I'm like, please, just everyone, I just want to go home.
You're literally saying my whole childhood right now.
Yeah, it's like, you don't understand the dysphoria that I'm going through right now. I just want to say, and I think we've talked about this in other episodes, but really the root of all of this is that it is embarrassing to be, quote, girly. So even if that is your scene, like, because I remember similar, I remember on the events where I would have to show up to school in a skirt or a dress, that would be like what people would make fun of me for.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh my God, Sarah's wearing a skirt and everything like that. And I remember in 4th grade, I was reading this horse book. It was a fictional book about a horse. And my guy friends made fun of me for reading a girly book, so I cried. And a teacher assistant, like a mom, came over to talk to me after school and was like, hey, because it was like towards the end of the day, and I cried when no one could see me, obviously, because I'm ashamed of my emotions. And she came over and talked to me, and she was like, so what's got you upset? And I said, well, the boys said they're reading a girly book. And she goes, well, is it maybe because you're a girl and you're reading a book? And I was like, okay, feminism, okay, classroom mother, okay, thank you for contextual. And like, honestly, that I have never forgotten that. I wish I remember who said that to me, because I wish I could reach out and be like, you opened up a lot of shit for me in that. Because then, I almost stopped crying immediately of like, wait a second, you're right. It doesn't matter what I would read. They're making fun of me because I'm a girl, period.
Right.
Even though I was on the football team at that side.
Dang.
At that time, I was wide receiver, the only girl on the football
Stop!
team.
Are we
I
having
scored
the
touchdowns.
Me too.
Gretchen.
Oh my God. Yes,
Wow.
I was a wide receiver too. Girl, I was the only one on the
That is
football
the girl.
team.
It's like the girl positions for football teams is wide receiver and kicker.
Yeah, that's it. You're going to run and catch the ball.
It.
Okay?
Exactly. But I was good too, damn it. I was running.
I wanted to
Picture
play
like a little
on my
frilly
brother's
run with like
JCC
your
team, and I
hands
wasn't
out.
allowed.
That's
Yes. Oh my God. I love that. Sports was a huge thing. And then somehow I got into perform. Actually, if you want another embarrassing story, I got one for you about
Please.
how this performing.
Keep them coming.
Okay. So, I guess this is like where my codependency comes from too. So
We're finding out a lot.
Yeah, you are.
this is therapy.
It totally is. But my growing up, I had two older brothers. I still have two older brothers. But growing up, my oldest brother was very much like a parental figure. He was I think like he's 8 years older than me, 6 years older. I can't remember. Anyways, but he for Christmas he would write my letters to Santa for me, because he was like, oh, you want me to write it? Okay, I'll do it for you.
Aww.
Great. Yeah, it's right now, right? So
there's a dark turn coming.
Yeah. So this video came on a day where I was also going through old papers that my mom told me to go through. I was going through them, and I found an old Santa Claus letter that my brother wrote for me of everything that I wanted. And it's just so funny to look at it now, because you go, oh my God, TJ just totally like just took my Christmas and put it for him. So like on the paper, it says like 1 Marionette puppet. Like there. Okay, so I have to back up.
We need to hear more about the puppets.
Okay, so my brother got very fascinated and interested in marionette puppets. I don't know why, but it was a very big thing in the 90s when Disney came out with like marionette puppets that were that you could collect the whole set or something like that.
Sure.
So my brother got obsessed with that because he would get delivered these like brochures about these Disney marionettes, and he's always been a Disney fan. So he was like, I have to get the whole set. How am I getting the whole set as quickly as possible? I'll convince both of my siblings to get them with me.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, brilliant.
So
collective bargaining.
Yes. So, and they were like fucking expensive marionette puppets. So like if we were getting them, it was like our big Christmas present. That's what it was. You know what I mean? So,
right.
It's like marionette puppet, a Barbie house, which I don't know why I didn't. I'm guessing someone told me that was what I wanted. And then the third was like basketball. And then like fourth was like something like Disney or something. And then at the end of it said, P.S. the things to really get is the marionettes.
Oh.
As if the numbered list wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. He starred it. First of all, he starred number 1, and then he wrote P.S. the marionette is the most important.
Oh my God. I like that he put other things on the list as a buffer to like make it look convincing, but it's like, no, but seriously, about the puppets?
That's what we need. So anyways,
Right.
we ended up collecting the whole set of fucking Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And
your house was just like a menagerie.
Oh,
of
it's
creepy puppets and dolls,
a
it sounds
museum
like.
of creepy ass shit. Like if you go to my parents' house, it's literally Jesus crosses, like fucking antiques everywhere, and just scary shit. And so my brother, I then find the video that says Marionette show, and I'm going, what the fuck is this? So I pop it in, I pop that bad boy in, and I watched it, and you guys, it's the most embarrassing thing I have ever done in my life. It's okay. So I guess it was like a church event, and picture this. It's like this huge grass field with like a bunch of different, I guess it was like a fair, like a bunch of different things that a bunch of church people could go and do. And, so we were one of the main events, and it was this small marionette stage that we set up, and TJ pre-recorded this whole show. Like he got like interviewed by these people that were like, so what do you think about the show? He's like, yeah, I'm really excited. He's like 14. I'm really excited about the show.
He's 14?
Yeah,
That's
he's
too
like
old.
right,
That's
way
too
too old.
for
It's
this.
so embarrassing for him. Like I think I'm like 9 or 10, and he's like 14, and my other brother is like 13 or something like that. And so he's like,
they're too old.
He's like, yeah, I'm like really excited. It's a pretty big hit, like. Like
oh
talking,
my God.
talking legit, but like I'm also there. Like my older brother knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
I can't believe you had press for this church
there was
recital.
press for this Marionette show. I wish it was a visual right now because it's the like.
Where did you grow up? Where is this?
So I grew up in Huntington Beach, but I think this is the Crystal Cathedral. So if you know that church, it's a very nationally recognized church at the time. It doesn't exist anymore. It's under a different thing. But back in the 90s, the Crystal Cathedral was like the Disneyland of churches in Anaheim. Like if you grew up in California, that's like where you knew that the Crystal Cathedral was a huge deal because Schuler created the first drive-in church in Anaheim. So in 1955 or something like that. So the grounds of where that church exists was like an original drive-in church theater or church experience, and then he transitioned it to this huge property that had like multiple different locations. It was just ginormous, and it's still there.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
Okay.
It's gorgeous, but it's.
I was picturing the exact opposite in that, like, this sounds like a very small rural town story.
Nope, definitely Orange County.
No, this is a big event.
Yeah, definitely big. Lots of people were there, and we like were captivating these children. They were like sitting there with they were just struck. And you guys, I didn't know how to do marionettes. I was 10. I was 10.
Yeah.
So I'm literally just like dragging these awesome looking marionettes, just like dragging them around and like not really doing anything with them and like putting them in kids' laps. Like I would just literally come up to a kid and they were sitting there and then I would put the marionette on its lap and like they thought it was hilarious and cute. But like all right. I don't,
audience work.
I mean, in the 90s, you didn't have that much, so like we were very our senses and everything that we thought was amazing was a very different experience. So
I was gonna ask because like I don't have a lot of marionette experiences, but I do my
wait, you don't, that wasn't a part of your childhood?
It's not. I can't say it is. But I remember my grandmother had a creepy marionette at her house, and I remember trying to like manipulate it, and it is very difficult.
It's so hard. It's so, especially if you're 10 and you have little mini arms, and these things were
Tiny
so
heads,
heavy.
Yeah,
they were so heavy.
They're heavy.
They were heavy. They were like I don't know. It wasn't 3 feet. It was like
probably real wood.
Yeah, it was real. It was like really. I mean, we're talking like an authentic marionette puppet. Like not a baby one. Like the string. Like you could stand up as probably like a person and hold it to your hip, and it would be hitting the ground. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Horrifying.
Yeah, horrifying.
God.
So those were scary. And then also I had to like pretend, I guess, that I thought, well, my brother was liking them, so I thought it was cool at the time. I thought, my older brother knows what's happening. Man, I'm not going to regret this when I'm older. No, not at all.
Well, Sarah is an older sibling, so I don't know if she can't relate.
I'm a trailblazer.
You're a trailblazer.
You're a trailblazer. Yeah,
you set
I'm
the
also
standard.
a younger sibling. Yeah, I'm also a younger sibling, and just like anything my brother thought was cool to me.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Like that was just like, to me, that was what the standard of cool was.
Yep.
Was like, oh, he likes this, I guess I gotta be into it too. So, yeah, I guess if your brother's into puppets, you're going to be into
You know,
puppets. You
I mean,
have a radar.
And, you know, I had the two, my middle brother, they're both in musical theater. So I grew up with very much like that, those kind of kids around me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was very much like theatrical and like old musicals in my house, like Oklahoma and like all that kind of like old lady stuff was definitely a part of it. I mean, like, you know, I had an older mom that was like, I'm 33 and she's 64. So, you know, compared to most, I think, people my age, they have like probably a younger, 74. She's 7. Did I say 64? She's 74.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I wouldn't say that's an
Gretchen,
old mom at all.
She's not that old. No. She's 74. So yeah, most likely, your parents are either like in their 50s or their 60s at this point. So yeah, it was just like an older, and so yeah, it was just so fascinating that my brother liked the marionette puppets and that he convinced both of his siblings that was the best idea for them as well, and that we both decided to do it and show up and be a part of the show. That's now like just the most embarrassing thing that I can look at for all of us.
Was there better off.
Was there like a plot to the show? Was it variety? What was it?
I guess there was some kind of plot because it was Snow White. It was basically my mom and dad and TJ, my older brother, pre-recorded like a soundtrack that we would mimic the puppets to. So my mom's voice played the wicked or the witch, the evil witch.
Yeah, the evil step.
Yeah, the evil queen.
Snow White, the scariest witch.
The evil queen. Yeah.
The evil queen. That's it.
The evil queen.
She was
the scariest one.
Yeah, and then she would also do the scary one where she's like the old witch, because we also had the give you an apple, my pretty, or whatever. Yeah, so she would have those things. It was very much a child show scripted for Snow White, and so we just did that with our own like little, I think, you know, jig to it. But we also like performed a number. So we did Whistle While You Work.
Oh, Jesus. This is like a 90-minute theatrical
it was
event.
like way too long, you guys. It was way too long. The kids were standing, they looked bored, but at the same time, they were also interested and they were still sitting there. So I don't know, if you saw it visually, you'd be like, this is the most boring shit I've ever seen. But I don't know. And then also like I was playing like some of the dwarfs, but then my brother at 14 was playing Snow White. it was just great. There was so many things. Not that that's like whatever, but I just think at the time it was like iconic.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it is iconic, because I think most teenage boys would be like, well, you play the girl part.
Exactly. No, he was like, I'm gonna be Snow White.
No, he wants to be the lead. This is his show.
It was his show. He wanted to be the lead.
He orchestrated getting these puppets.
That's right. He should be the lead.
The main one. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. No, so take what's his.
That's definitely a strong one right now. That is an embarrassing fact.
Right. That is. I gotta call you out though, because like the two stories that you have told so far are you doing a performance and it going pretty well.
Yeah, wait a
second. I guess you know, pretty well in the fact that like I didn't, you know, blow up, you know.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think what you're describing is actually the universal acting experience. And one of my favorite things about acting is that it doesn't matter if it's on camera or on stage. The minute you're done acting, you never have to acknowledge that ever again. And like Jenna, Gretchen, we've done shows together where I've gotten off stage and I've been like, so I suck, I guess. I don't know.
we just like forget like lines. Okay, all right, cool, that happened. Yep.
Yeah, it's like good off stage. Like, how was it? Like, oh, bad, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I never have to be responsible for that again. I never have to watch it again.
Okay, something I can give you is performing again, but this is something that people won't let me live down, which are like my close friends. So if we
that's what we want.
Okay, all right.
That's what we actually want.
Well, okay, so I was in this show in high school. It was this benefit concert for this kid, but it was like this ongoing thing where they just couldn't get us to have a performance date or like get it together to where we actually performed. So the rehearsal process for this one night, this one show, ended up being like an 8-month process. So like we would get together and just be like, I hope one day we have this benefit concert. And then finally it happens. They have a date. They solidified it. And what happens to Gretchen? Oh, and by the way, I had this like big solo, and I was really excited about it to show off my chops.
Of course.
Right. But what happens, literally, they book the date, and I find out that I have to get my tonsils removed 5 days before the date. And I just put all this work in for 8 months for this dang show. I was like,
that's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. I was like, there's no way I am not gonna freaking sing at this thing. And my doctors is telling me, like, Gretchen, don't sing. You can't sing when you get your tonsils out.
You're gonna tear your throat in half.
Don't do that, right? That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I am like 15 or 16. I don't think about any of that
No, the drama
stuff.
of it,
Oh,
you
the
have to.
I
Like, the
had to go
stakes
on
are
stage.
way high. Yeah, you have to. You must.
My God.
This was an
Despite all
8-month
odds.
contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, no, it was literally not that big of a deal, but I made it the hugest deal. And so
No, it's a big deal. Yeah.
I decided that I had to go on. The show must go on. And
Of course.
no one was going to sing that solo other than me. So I get there and I decide that I'm not going to sing for anybody until the performance. So I was like saving everything.
Yeah, save it.
And they were like, really, Gretchen, you sure? Like all my friends, they were like, I don't think you should. I was like, you guys, I'm going to be fine. But I'm talking kind of like that. So
my God.
I get up there and I don't know if you guys know Aida, but there's a musical called Aida, and
Yes.
the solo that I was singing, that I should not have been singing because this is for definitely not for white people, but it was
Right.
it was a concert version, so you know what I mean, like we weren't doing the show, but
Right.
I sang that part in this solo where your robe should be golden, your robe should be perfect instead of this ragged concoction of thread, right? So that's how it kind of sounds, but how I sang it that day was, your robe should be golden, your robe should be perfect instead of this ragged concoction of thread.
You got a Louis Armstrong.
Oh,
Wow.
it was the most Kermit the Frog sound ever. And then I had to hit this loud night. It was like, to the dance! Like that.
Oh.
I held it,
Ugh.
but it was definitely Kermit the Frog, and so I never got to live that down. Everybody just would always be like, hey, Gretchen, how's it going? Hi.
Holy
Oh,
shit, that's
yeah.
awful.
Yeah, for like a couple
Yeah.
of months. It was good fun, but it also was pretty embarrassing, and
I feel for you. I
know what
really
I mean?
do.
Because those kids, I mean, it was just that time that you could like, in theater school at least, like I wasn't the girl that was getting chose to be the leads or any of. I was like, this is
course.
my moment. I'm gonna show
Right.
everybody what I can
Right.
do, and then
Yeah.
I become
You got
Kermit
one
the Frog.
shot. Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. I had the grace of going to a performing and visual arts high school. So even when something would flub on stage, like everybody else who was watching also were artists. Like maybe they weren't all actors, but they like knew enough that it was like, okay, yeah, we did see you fuck that thing up, but it's fine. But I actually do remember a elementary school recital memory that just came to mind.
Yes.
And for some reason, I have held on to this embarrassment, and I wonder if by saying it out loud, I can be free of feeling embarrassed because it wasn't my fault. So
Do it.
we were actually the recital that year was like a holiday recital, and so we were actually like all given like different kinds of like cultural songs to sing, like really lighthearted. Shallow kind of like we're children of the world, whatever. And so like my class actually sang a song about Hanukkah, and I'll never forget the opening song was light the candle, spin the dreidel, celebrate our blessings tonight. Is that a real song or is that just like
that's one we learn in Hebrew school.
Okay, so we had
in
been
Jewish day school.
We had been practicing, I think this was like maybe third grade, fourth grade, older elementary school, not kindergarten. So like older. And we had been practicing even now, this is how I think of it. We had been practicing the song for weeks. And for some reason at the recital, we had the intro, and like obviously 5, 6, 7, 8 sing, but none of my classmates started to sing. And I didn't start singing either because I was self-aware at that point to recognize like, hey, I'm not going to be the only asshole singing. And so I kind of let like a bar or two go. And when no one was singing, I whispered, sing. And then everyone started to sing and get up with where they were supposed to go. But like, I was like
Oh
so
my
blown away. Even to this day, I'm so blown away. We rehearsed the song so many times. You don't know when to fucking sing. So I like sang, and then everyone, we got on. So we all started singing.
How cute.
And it was all well and good. And so I thought
Sarah,
like
the
it was
little
one of those.
director.
I just knew we were
That's
supposed to sing,
adorable,
and they weren't
actually.
singing. So I did that, and then like I remember feeling so like the show must go on. I handled that like such a, because I was in piano classes, so I knew enough about like recitals where like if you
Yes.
mess up, just recover, it's fine. And so I was
Right.
feeling like proud of myself. And my mom, I later that day or later that week was like, Sarah, I'm so proud of you. Nobody was singing, and I heard you say sing, and then everybody started singing. Turns out the microphones that were pointed on the stage picked up me going sing. So the whole audience,
Aw.
as well, just everybody heard me say sing.
Oh my God.
So I was like, I'm sure the adults must have been like, who the fuck is this Gypsy Rose Lee,
Oh.
like 5th grader? That's like, God damn it, this music, we missed our cue. Start
Oh my God.
singing.
I will not miss my time to shine.
That's the future director right there.
And I do
That's-
remember doing like other recitals where kids would have to like tape their dialogue to their arm because they couldn't remember it. And I remember being like, oh my God, you're such an amateur. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't memorize your lines? What
This is the Girl Scout talent show, and you can't be bothered to learn your paragraph? Like, honest to God.
I mean, kids these days. Jeez.
Do you know, like, did they just like missed the cue?
They missed their
Or
cue.
did
They
they
just-
not want to do
They
it.
just
What
missed
happened?
they missed the cue to start singing because, and I mean, I think because I was in music classes, I
Amateur.
just had a better ear for it. Like because the music teacher wasn't there to start singing with us. They
Oh.
they literally, I think the other students didn't understand that like there's an intro and then you start singing. I
Right.
think they were waiting for someone to tell them
Dun,
to
dun, dun,
sing, and it
dun,
was
dun.
me. I
And that
know.
was you.
Where's the vamp?
That's incredible. And,
then,
also
yeah,
really
and then you had
endearing.
to take that on. Yeah, I gotta. That's so funny because I, not being a trained performer, really, 100% have like in karaoke just been like miss the cue entirely. Like, oh, that's when I sympathize with your class.
Yeah.
And I need someone to be like, now.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I
Now's
mean,
when you
it's
do-
also like your choir director. It was totally on her. I mean, gosh, where's the little, go,
Right,
I
yeah,
don't know,
there's-
Gretchen. The way I see it, I just think my other classmates were just
You're right, you're right.
absolutely dogging me. I mean, they
Yeah.
were like,
Left
we're
you
just
out
going
to
to
dry.
stay. We were wearing, oh my God, I forgot. We had like little white polos on and we were all wearing little blue bottoms. Like the whole thing was like, this is
Oh.
Hanukkah. And they couldn't
Cute.
even be bothered to sing. I'm like, are you
Jeez.
kidding me?
Lame. Yeah, no.
But that
No,
one does,
that's,
that I do think about that, about that time
That's
I had
hilarious.
to
That's
direct the
adorable.
class.
I mean, like, there are so many, but I think I have one more that I think that
Yeah, go for it.
that is
Please.
a little. It's just okay. I had an opportunity to be a cool kid, and I chose.
You biffed it.
I biffed it. I biffed it. I biffed it hard, you guys. So in fifth grade, I don't know if you guys had this, but I had a cool teacher that like once a month you would get to do a Friday night movie class where one kid she would pick out of a hat each month who was going to be the lucky person to, I think it was either once a month or once a week. I don't think it was once a week. She wouldn't probably allow that happen, but maybe once a month. And she would pick out a name, and whoever that person was got to pick a movie to bring it in.
That's cool.
So
Right.
I know. So my name got picked, and I loved all the movies, and I was so excited to pick.
Yeah.
But I got hounded on the playground. These kids would come. The same kid who laughed at me in the front was also in my kid
Right.
that I told you about before. Patrick, I'll never forget his name, came up to me and he was
That
just
motherfucker.
that bastard would come up to me and hound me about what movie I should be picking. And I was like, well, I don't know what I'll pick. Well, what do you think you're going to pick? Well, I really like comedy. He's like, well, what kind of movies do you like?
Jesus.
Well, I think, I like Mel Brooks a lot. Men in Tights is my favorite movie. He's like, you should bring Men in Tights. That's one you should bring. And I was like, yeah. That's cool. It's cool. I'll bring that. I'll think about it. Yeah. So I start thinking about it, and like, I I start thinking about the movie, and at like, what are you, 5th grade? You're like 11 or whatever. I'm thinking about like, oh gosh, I don't know if that's going to be appropriate for these 11-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay for me to watch that movie, but to put it on these
Right.
other 11-year-olds that are not as mature as I am, I don't think that I can do that. And so
Yes.
I brought it to my mom, which was a total mistake. And I said, Mom, I have this opportunity, and I think I want to bring Men in Tights in, but I don't know if that's the right movie. She's like, Gretchen, you can't bring that in. People, I mean, there's cursing and there's sexual stuff and all that stuff.
Right.
You're just not going to be able to bring that in. And so I said, well, okay, well, I need to bring in a cool movie that my friends will think I'm cool at. And she made me bring Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ooh.
That's
Oh.
that's
That's
what,
not cool.
That's not cool.
Oh,
So
man.
I showed up. So I showed up to school, and Patrick said, so are we watching Men in Tights? And I said, my mom wouldn't allow me, so I have to bring in Jingle All the Way.
Oh.
And so
you gave away all your cards.
all my cards. And so I show up with Jingle All the Way, and all the kids are mad at me the whole time. The movie's playing,
God.
and all the kids are just like, why are you making us watch this? And I was so embarrassed the whole time, because I don't know if you've seen Jingle All the Way, but it's cute, but it's kind of embarrassing.
It's not good. Yeah, it's
just
straight
not
up
good.
and down.
It's kind of embarrassing to know that you've even watched it, or that you own the VHS. Like, I owned it.
Yeah.
I own it. It came from my house, you guys.
Oh. That's a setup for
It's totally. I just
nerds.
Yeah.
That, for nerds that to bring in a movie, like pick your own movie and show it to the class. That's a setup. My pretentious ass would have been like, and now we're watching Citizen Kane.
Yeah,
Like,
that
Yeah,
would have been
geez,
cool.
In 5th grade, literally, it would have been an Austin Powers movie that I would have wanted to brought in.
Totally.
Like, the compromise would
That
have been
is
like a
true.
Disney animated something.
Why did I have to ask my mom, you guys? I shouldn't have asked my mom.
never let that be a lesson to all the kids listening to this
Yeah,
show.
don't talk to your
is
mom.
Don't
Never,
talk to your mom about your problems.
never consult your mom about anything.
Especially if you're trying to be cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
For sure.
Your mom's not cool.
She's
Don't
gonna make
listen
you
to
bring
her.
Jingle All the Way and not Men in Tights.
Men in Tights would have been a good pick. I
No.
feel like that I would have just gone with a Mel Brooks movie too, thinking about it, but I don't think it would have been appreciated.
Yeah.
I think it would have like fought.
Yeah,
'Cause
does
I
Springtime for
remember-
Hitler play for 5th graders the way...
Yeah, like I definitely would have brought in like a Marx Brothers movie, and I
Right.
just would have been like, what?
Well,
Because I remember.
how do you even choose?
I
Like, you bring one movie and like you're the movie kid, and you're like,
Yeah, that's a lot
Yeah,
of pressure.
that's so much pressure.
It's too much.
Too much. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
handle it at
that's
5th.
what I
at
pride
11.
myself on. Yeah, I there's no way that would have like worked for me, because I remember this was in high school. We were in some class, and the teacher showed us. I don't know why we were watching this, but we were watching This Is Spinal Tap, which is a great movie.
Oh,
And the teacher, in the middle of it, like, went to the bathroom, and one of the kids, like, being sneaky, went up to the VHS and, like, clicked fast forward so the movie would be done faster, and everyone's like, yeah! And I was like, but...
I want to watch.
And I was like, I was enjoying the movie.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's a great one. Who would fast forward Christopher Guest?
And
dare.
also, why would you want movie class to be over faster?
Why would you do
I
that?
know... That really, it flipped my whole, it was a baffling move to me, and
Yeah.
why people were happy. Like, one, we're watching, like, a fun, non-educational in any way movie.
Yeah,
in
not
class.
Right.
Why are we moving past this? You know we're gonna have to learn after.
Yeah. I would have loved, I'm just picturing now, like, what a worksheet would look like that a teacher would give out that's like, so in the movie Spinal Tap, they say that their amps go up to 11. Why was that funny? And do amps typically
Right.
go that high? Like, like the corresponding worksheet that you have to give.
Oh my god.
It's, yeah.
Like, by
it's-
using a mockumentary, what is Guest able to accomplish as a filmmaker in this storytelling?
Yeah, I have no idea what the context we were watching this is, but I'm like, guys, this is my chance to be good.
Oh
This
man.
is my chance to shine. We're watching a comedy movie that
Right.
an obscure, kind of to 14-year-olds obscure comedy movie.
Yeah.
This is Bridget's shot.
Oh.
Let me shine here, you guys.
It's just never the way you know. Gosh,
No,
it sucks.
you need hindsight, and I feel like we were all probably the kids that were like, "You're going to be cool when you're older." Like
Absolutely.
my teachers, I remember a teacher saying I was cool and being like, "That's not helpful."
Oh,
Yeah. That's the opposite of cool, is being told you're
That's
cool by
not
a
helpful.
teacher.
Right. Yeah, teachers would be like, "Bridget, this is the one," and I'm like, it's not helpful now. I get what you guys are saying.
Totally.
And, like, by college things are going to be good for me, but
yeah, if you go through,
we got to lay low for now.
if you go through those embarrassing moments, it really does create that like individual that's a little more understanding, or you know, like
right.
just a little more, I don't know, like accepting, I guess, of a lot of different.
Yeah, it kind of thickens you up a little
it
bit.
does.
Like
it does create that shell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to learn, like, which is the hardest thing to learn as an adult. We're all still learning this. Like, how do you cope after you've made like a fucking fool of yourself? And like, how do you move on? And how do you like bring yourself to show your face and like recover? Because truthfully, this is an experience that everyone must have. And I feel like better to have it younger versus better have it as an adult when you just don't have that many excuses.
Yes.
Right.
Like at least a kid, you could be like, yeah, I was just being a dumbass and I was a kid, but there are some dumbasses as adults that, hey, you can't paddle out of that one.
Right.
You should know better.
Right.
There are people I know who like were cool, like everything kind of went smoothly, like they had an easy puberty and they were pretty, and like now anytime I go home and like have to go to a wedding or something and they're there and I try to talk to them, I'm just like, oh, you're a boring person.
Yes,
exactly.
I'm bored talking.
Yes.
to you.
No personality. You've never had to
Like,
develop personality.
Right.
Right.
The
you're cool,
but
your life is easy.
The
and
bubble is still,
but-
they're in a bubble. It's like almost they haven't
Yes.
experienced like culture, like other cultures and different like ways. And yeah, exactly.
Right, I was like, yeah, you think I'm funny, but like,
You should watch Men in Tights.
yeah.
Talk about funny.
You gotta go out there and like embarrass yourself, then you'll figure it out.
Totally.
It's not hard.
Totally. You're like, okay, well, I know not to do that again. No marionettes in front of people when you're 10 years old. Cool. Sure.
Yeah. Well, Gretchen, thank you for coming on. And,
this is a blast.
You seem to have gotten out. Yeah.
Hey, thank you
seem
for
to have gotten out of
inviting me.
childhood.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Oh.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to let go of Bill Cosby.
Of course.
I have been holding that in for a while. I've been holding him. I don't even want to say that. No.
It's okay. I went to college in Philadelphia, and I went to film school, and around our film school building, there were a bunch of posters of things that were filmed in Philadelphia and like Philadelphia artists, and Bill Cosby was up there.
Oh, wow.
And then that news came out while I was still in college, and then I came down, and the next day
It's not
it was
there.
just like a blank,
Wow.
a blank like sun-stained place where the Bill Cosby poster used to be.
Oof.
So we all had to
Like, let go of that.
recognize, let go. Like Bill, the Cosby Show was shown in some of my TV classes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's still great things about that history, and like you said about his stand-up
Yes.
and stuff, and but I also think
But
like with that, it's just like so funny to know like what you find. I wanted to say that one because I thought it was interesting to like, you know, I thought it was one of the most embarrassing, horrific things that people thought I looked horrible, and like I thought I blinked out. But then having like actual footage and having my wife look at it and go like, it wasn't as, you know, it probably like she wasn't trying to minimize my experience at all, but it was nice to know that it wasn't what I like imagined in my brain, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because with hindsight, you realize like that was probably a pretty strange thing to do at 7 years old.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And like your mom made you do it, and, and there's some of that. But it honestly sounds like it went pretty well.
Yeah,
you know?
like in the grand scheme of things, it was not like that big scary monster that I thought it was. So thank you for getting like that. I actually feel really great that I get to release that into the air.
Yeah.
Into this podcast.
Welcome. You are welcome.
We're glad to do it for you. Let people know where they can
find
you.
So I'm on Instagram at I am Gretchen Dawson. You can find me there. I'm also on Facebook. You can add me. I have a YouTube channel. Right now, I am focusing on just creating as much as I can. I'm auditioning and doing the grind like we all do in this COVID weird place of virtual like auditions. So yeah, I'm focused on that and working from home and just, trying to keep myself sane during this weird time. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to do something different with my day.
Totally.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, thanks again for coming on, and
Of
definitely
course.
check Gretchen Dawson out on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all the internet places. And Sarah, you're better at this than I am, so I'm
Yes, you can check out Rough Stuff Pod at Rough Stuff Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and yes, even Facebook. You are listening to us on the Small Beans Network. We have a little Patreon. Go check it out. Go check out the other shows, and if you feel so inclined, and if you got a little extra bank in your book, go ahead and become a subscriber because we got some cool things. And if above all else, if you can just drop a cool rate, review, and a quick subscribe to any one of the fabulous podcast hosts where you are listening to us right now. I mean, honestly, if you're listening to us right now, I mean, you could probably just like click, do that right away. Just go ahead and tell
Bippity-boppity-boop.
everyone how great we are and how well they should watch our shows. I actually have a Marionette puppet miniseries that is going to come out on you. No, I'm fucking with you.
literally my mouth. Oh my!
Your mouth.
If
So
you
did
all
mine. I
can
was
see
like,
me right now,
Absolutely
I'm
not.
actually,
I was so
I'm actually
confused.
sweating. I'm actually sweating.
Absolutely
Like, oh god, I'm sweating in places I don't want to sweat. Wow.
Oh, I sweat through every single one of these. We've been doing this for 2 years, and I have not stopped sweating every time we record.
Definitely
so-
a sweaty person, but like literally, I just got really like hot for you. I was like, oh no, I mean that came out wrong, but you know what I mean.
No.
I was like,
No,
you're
I
gonna
do
put on a
not.
Marionette show? Oh my god.
No. You will never see anything like that for me unless I am in The Sound of Music, and even then, pretty rare.
Good call. Good call.
Well, yeah. Well, do all those things. Shoot Sarah ideas for her Marionette one-woman show.
I'm so glad I could
Send
inspire
her-
you.
Yeah, send Sarah if we have any, and I know we do have some crafts people in our listenership. If you can make a Marionette doll that looks like Sarah and send it to her in the mail,
Oh, please
I
do
know
it.
she would really
Oh,
appreciate
and Bridget
that.
is innocent of all of this? Are you shitting me? I
Oh,
mean, fine,
please
I'll
do
take it. You know I will.
Oh my god, please send that to me. Direct message that to me.
Yeah.
I'd have to see that.
All right. Thank you all for listening. We will see you next time.
Yay!
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.